Holding on to a one-game lead in the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers are facing a pivotal road matchup against the Detroit Lions late Sunday afternoon. As the Steelers' offense looks to keep pace with the Lions' attack, quarterback Aaron Rodgers will be without two young players who are supposed to fill key roles. According to team beat reporter Chris Adamski via X, formerly Twitter, Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin decided to make running back Caleb Johnson and wide receiver Roman Wilson healthy scratches. Wow, rookie RB Caleb Johnson announced a healthy scratch by the Steelers, coupled with Roman Wilson again inactive. That's each of the past two third-RD picks who aren't in uniform, reported Adamski ahead of Sunday's game. While the Wilson decision isn't a surprising one, Tomlin deciding to scratch Johnson does indeed fit that criteria. The Steelers had high hopes for the two former third-round selections. However, both players have since disappointed. With Rodgers guiding the offense, veteran experience is valued more. Hence, the increased roles for multiple recent veteran additions, including Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Adam Thielen, and Ben Skowronek. Now, with Johnson set to miss Sunday's matchup alongside Wilson, how much longer will their tenures in Pittsburgh last? Steelers look to maintain AFC North lead with Sunday win over Lions. After playing in 12 games with the Steelers in his second season, Wilson has been deactivated during Pittsburgh's last two games. The AFC North leaders won both of those matchups. It was just the latest disappointment in a pro career filled with them for Wilson. Now, it looks as if Johnson could be heading down the same slippery slope that his teammate is currently sliding down. The former Iowa Hawkeye has missed a few games due to injury and was expected to split time with veteran Jaylen Warren entering the season. However, his 22 rushing yards in the 24-21 win over the Minnesota Vikings at the end of September remains his season-high mark. Hopefully, today's scratch will lead to a turnaround for Johnson, as many expected a big rookie season for the ex-Hawkeye. Can Johnson and Wilson return to the lineup next weekend and help the Steelers clinch another AFC North crown? The NFL announced a two-game suspension for DK Metcalf on Monday evening, almost exactly 24 hours after the Pittsburgh Steelers' top wide receiver was involved in an altercation with a fan during a game at Detroit's Ford Field. Metcalf was suspended by the league for conduct detrimental to the NFL for initiating a physical confrontation with a fan, according to an NFL release. The suspension will cost Metcalf the prorated portion of his base salary for the 2025 season, the first of a 5-year, $150 million contract he signed with the Steelers after they acquired him a March trade. The suspension runs through the end of the regular season, but Metcalf would be eligible to return if the Steelers make the playoffs. That date would be January 5th, the day after the Steelers' regular season finale at home against the Baltimore Ravens. He also will miss this coming Sunday's game at the Cleveland Browns. Per the terms of the league's collective bargaining agreement with its Players Association, Metcalf has the right to appeal the suspension. Citing an unnamed source, ESPN reported Metcalf indeed plans to appeal. The news of the suspension capped a day of various reports and even a legal statement from a law firm that gradually began to shed some light into the situation that occurred during the second quarter of the Steelers' 29-24 victory at the Detroit Lions. Metcalf and the fan, who identified himself to the Detroit Free Press as Ryan Kennedy from Pinckney, Michigan, had an altercation in which Metcalf appeared to grab Kennedy by his shirt and shove upward at him as the fan bent over a railing atop a wall of about 8 feet behind the Steelers' bench at Ford Field. Metcalf has not commented publicly, and he quickly left the visitors' locker room following Sunday's game. That made him unavailable to reporters. When asked about the incident, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin provided no substantive details. Metcalf's side of the story, it seems, was told by the podcasts of two former prominent NFL players, ex-Steelers linebacker James Harrison and ex-Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Chad Ochocinco. Each alleged that Kennedy used a racial slur directed toward Metcalf. Speaking on the Debo and Joe show Harrison co-hosts with former Steelers teammate Joe Hayden, Harrison cited a conversation he had with Metcalf. Ochocinco did not provide any detail on his source or where he acquired the information when he said on the Nightcap show he hosts with former NFL tight end Shannon Sharpe that Kennedy did call Metcalf a racial slur, he did call him the N-word, and he did call his mom a expletive. A statement released by a Michigan law firm representing Kennedy called Okosinko's allegations completely false. At no point before, during, or after the incident did Mr. Kennedy use racial slurs or hate speech of any kind, read the statement released by Head Murphy Law to TribLive and other outlets. The claims suggesting otherwise are untrue and are not supported by video evidence, eyewitness accounts, or any contemporaneous reporting. The statement suggests Kennedy will be taking legal action. Mr. Kennedy is a lifelong Detroit Lions football fan who attended the game lawfully and never anticipated becoming the subject of national attention, much less false accusations of racism, the statement read. He respects the game, the players, and fellow fans, and he rejects hate and discrimination in all forms. According to the NFL Network, Kennedy and Metcalf had an interaction during a game at Ford Field last season. Metcalf reported the same fan to Seahawks security last season while playing for Seattle, NFL Network reported. An off-season trade acquisition from Seattle, Metcalf and the Seahawks played at the Lions on September 30, 2024. Kennedy told the Free Press that Metcalf was irked when he referred to Metcalf by his given name, Decalen Zacharias Metcalf. He doesn't like his government name, Kennedy said when interviewed during the game. I called him that, and then he grabbed me and ripped my shirt. I'm a little shocked. Like, everyone's talking to me. I'm a little rattled, but I just want the Lions to win, baby. Metcalf has been listed on rosters as DK since he was a star in college. He has told Steelers Audio Network play-by-play announcer Rob King that he prefers Decalen but understands many do not pronounce it correctly, so he instead goes by DK. Because he was not flagged for the incident by on-field officials, Metcalf could not be ejected from Sunday's game or subjected to penalty affecting it. Through a spokesperson, the team said Tomlin will provide the lone public words on behalf of the organization. Tomlin's weekly news conference is scheduled for noon Tuesday. In announcing the suspension, the NFL's statement read, Metcalf's actions violate league policy, which specifies that players may not enter the stands or otherwise confront fans at any time on game day, and if a player makes unnecessary physical contact with a fan in any way that constitutes unsportsmanlike conduct or presents crowd control issues and/or risk of injury, he will be held accountable. The Steelers, 9-6, need one win over their final two games, or a Ravens loss at the Green Bay Packers on Saturday, to clinch the AFC North title for the first time since 2020. A two-time Pro Bowl honoree with the Seattle Seahawks, the 28-year-old Metcalf has more than twice as many receiving yards, 850, as any other player on the Steelers. His 8 touchdowns are tied for second on the team. Travis Kelce's name is unexpectedly surfacing in NFL backstage conversations involving the Pittsburgh Steelers. While there's no official confirmation, the speculation is drawing attention due to the player's stature and the potential impact such a move could have on the league. The Steelers remain attentive to the market, seeking ways to elevate their offense, and the tight end position is seen by many analysts as a sector that could gain even more prominence within the team's offensive system. In this scenario, the mere mention of Kelce, one of the most dominant players at his position in the last decade, naturally generates buzz. In the eyes of league executives, the connection between Kelce and Pittsburgh is more about analyzing the current scenario than concrete negotiations at this time. Issues such as age, contract, long-term planning, and salary impact would be crucial for any progress. Even so, the tight end's experience, leadership, and tactical intelligence mean his name is constantly associated with franchises seeking an immediate leap in competitiveness. For the Steelers, known for their organizational stability and strong identity, the arrival of a player of Travis Kelce's caliber would represent not only a technical boost, but also a clear sign of sporting ambition. On the other hand, any possibility would depend on a significant change in the current context, both on the athlete's side and the franchise's side. For now, the topic remains in the realm of speculation. But in an NFL marked by bold decisions and surprising moves, the idea of Travis Kelce wearing black and gold, however distant, continues to fuel debates and projections among fans and analysts.